Few beauty products in your collection that you absolutely rely upon. Today, I'm going to talk about the 11 products that I will always repurchase. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the products that I repurchase every single time they run out. And in fact, many times I buy them before they run out because I'm afraid that I won't have them when I need them. There's so many new collections coming at us at all times. And when I'm recording this video, we're about to go into the fall releases, which is my favorite time of year. Not necessarily outside because it's like 100 degrees, but in the stores where we start to see the fall drops and all of the cozy sweaters and fall colors and pumpkin spice lattes. I think it's important to every once in a while go back and remember the things that you always use, the things that you repurchase time after time. And I came up with 11 products that are like that for me. First, the foundation that's on my face is not really a foundation. This is the Chanel Les Beige tint. I've been purchasing this product for a very long time. This product I use more so in the summer than I do in the cooler months, but that's because it is a weightless, flawless skin type of product. It really is something that you have to try to experience. It is a product that is a watery tint, and it has little micro bubbles in it that when you break them up, creates a flawless finish. Does it give coverage? No, it does not. This is basically a product that if you're looking for something that is going to smooth out your skin, smooth out your texture, smooth out your discoloration, which we all have, this is the product for you. I love it because it is weightless. And in the summer, I cannot handle anything on my face, but sometimes I want to look slightly polished. And this does it. It makes me feel like my skin looks its best. My skin looks glowy and youthful and plump, and it kind of evens out my tone. So this is a product that I have purchased many, many, many times. I think this is my 5th bottle. I don't even know. The one thing I will say is this is medium light. Medium light is the shade that works perfectly for me. Light is too light for me. And in most foundations, I'm one of the lightest shades. In this one, I am the second one up, medium light. Light is too light. I would love it if they came out with a light medium that was kind of in between the two. They haven't done that yet, but it is a product. I'm not going to call it a foundation. It is a product that I repurchase over and over and over again. And I think once you try it, you might be in the same boat. Second is a product that I would repurchase over and over and over and over and over again, but unfortunately they discontinued it. I did repurchase this multiple times, and I've had it ever since it was launched. I picked it up at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York, and a Tom Ford SA came up to me and was like, "You want to try our new bronzer?" And I was like, "Sure." She put it on my face, and I was sold. And I've been repurchasing it ever since. I've had backup upon backups upon backups. This is probably I think this is the last backup I have. So Terra no longer exists. Terra bronzer has been replaced by the new Tom Ford bronzers line, and the new bronzers are good. I think there's 4 shades. I have the lightest of the shades, and it's really nice, and I think it looks good, but Terra was a shade that literally was perfect for me, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I know many of you did as well. I think this is probably my 5th or 6th Terra. I actually made my way through an entire bronzer of this size twice, almost like a safety blanket. Like that was my bronzer, my go-to, and I'm very, very upset that it is gone. I, will continue to use this as long as I possibly can. Next is my handy dandy Chanel Stylo Waterproof. This is a liner that I have repurchased I don't know how many times. I think I have like 50 different shades now. The one that's my favorite is Matte Taupe, which they don't make. And I do have a backup of this, but you can only keep these so long because they are cream. What I love about these liners is they're just reliable for me. They go on, they stay on, they don't tug, they don't come off during the day. They're waterproof, so you can get caught in the rain and your eyeliner doesn't go anywhere. They don't smudge. They are, to me, the perfect liner. And I literally, like I said, I have them in every shade. Every single time they come out with a new shade of the waterproof liners, I buy it, even if it's not the shade for me, because I love the formula so much. I just love the way these work, and I will continue to repurchase these as long as Chanel makes them. This is a Sweed Cloud mascara, which I have on today, and I've purchased many of these because I go through them relatively quickly because you have to get rid of your mascaras after a couple of months. And I have to tell you, I did not see this one coming. This is a brand that I didn't even know about when I started my channel. Maybe it didn't exist. It's entirely possible. It's a relatively newer brand. And the mascara has this amazing way, the Cloud mascara, of lengthening your lashes, and it definitely does that, but it also volumizes them in a way that is controlled. Like, it's not clumpy, it's not over the top. It's the mascara that I wear every single day. And if I didn't have a channel, I'd probably have this and maybe like one or two others. It's not as volumizing as some other mascaras I have. Charlotte Tilbury comes to mind, and Dior. There are some others that are Victoria Beckham that are more volumizing. They're more dramatic. But this one strikes that balance between comfortable every day, doesn't smudge, doesn't come off, lengthens, and gives volume to the extent that I'm happy with. It's an exceptional mascara. I've been talking about it pretty much since I discovered it, and I will continue to purchase as long as Sweed makes Cloud mascara. Sweed, if you're watching this, please never stop making this formula. Brow pencils. I don't talk about brow pencils very often. I don't talk about brows very often. I have had my eyebrows microbladed because I was in my teen years in the 80s, and I did tweeze off quite a bit of my brows. Luckily for me, I had very thick brows. In fact, I kind of had a unibrow there for a little while. And so when I tweezed them off, yes, it was damaging, but it wasn't as bad as some people my age who had less to begin with. So they had like a line. I had more than that. There is a brand that I actually don't really buy anything else from them, but I do buy their brow products, and that's ABH. ABH in Auburn. This particular one is the Brow Wiz. The Brow Wiz is a very thin brow pencil, and they have different ones. This is the Brow Wiz, which is very thin. They have a brow gel. They have a brow like pencil, which is thicker, that has more like of a wax. They have multiple products now. I've tried a lot of different brow products. The reason I always go back to ABH, frankly, is the color. It's this auburn color. It's truly auburn. And when people say, I'm a redhead, yes, but it's an auburn. It's a deep burnished reddish brown. It's not red, and it's not orange, and it's not strawberry blonde. Most brands do not have a good auburn color. They just don't. Gucci came up with a pencil that was auburn that I absolutely loved, and they discontinued it. So I have purchased so many ABH Auburn pencils in different types. I've used the gel. I've used the crayon one that's more waxy. There's like a wedge one. I've used this one. I use them all the time, and I always go back to the ABH Auburn pencils for my brows. Lip liners. I have had many, many lip liners in my life, and I talk about all the different ones on the channel all the time. And there's some really good ones. There's some really great ones out there. And MAC is one that I actually go back to. In fact, I just bought a whole bunch of MAC products, and we'll get to that in a second, at the Nordstrom sale, because they were having lipstick week, and there was a bunch of MAC products at 40% off. But the pencil that I have now purchased a couple of times is the Tom Ford lip liners. The Tom Ford lip liners are still the best ones I've tried. They go on really smoothly. They're super smooth. They're creamy. But there's enough wax in here, or whatever it is, that keeps it so it doesn't bleed. And I have a gloss on today, and I'll get to that. It doesn't bleed. They just don't. Not on me. And of all the liners I've tried, if you're looking for, like I said before, about like a balance, like for me, the Sweed mascara is the perfect balance. Yes, there are other liners that are softer. Yes, there are other liners that are smoother. Like they're going to go on absolutely no tug ever. And then there's ones like the MAC liners that are more pencil-like and are harder, but don't bleed on anyone, because there's no smoothness to those whatsoever. Yes, but this is the best balance of all of those things. I just wish there was more shades. So I have repurchased several of these actually, and they haven't been out that long. This one is in Love's Attention, which is like this deep brown shade, which I revert back to like it's still the 90s, but I love that liner. And honestly, the only thing I could ask for Tom Ford is if they would just come up with more shades. Eyeshadows. The eyeshadow that I repurchase over and over again, and obviously in different shades because I haven't gone through an entire quad yet because I have so much makeup, is the Clé de Peau. These Clé de Peau shadows, if you're somebody who has in any way an interest in a long-lasting eyeshadow, go with these. There is no product on the market that is better for somebody who is looking for either long lasting, somebody who has texture on their eyes and doesn't want to see it, somebody who wants a absolutely reliable, will not wear weird, functional, good curation of colors every day. You can count on it eyeshadow. This is it. Clé de Peau, when they created this formula with the one shade being the primer shade, absolutely exceptional. And over, I buy the new color stories that come out in that formulation, regardless of whether or not I like the color story. And I use them because I know no matter what happens, they are going to look great on my eye. They're not going to accentuate texture. They're not going to settle into weird lines, and they're not going to just come off halfway through the day. And I know the color curations are going to work. There's something about Clé de Peau, and Suku has this as well, that even when the color curations look a little off to me or a little different from what I normally do, they always work. Lipsticks. I have so many lipsticks. I have the Lip Chics from Chantecaille, which are fabulous. I have the Cocoa lipsticks from Chanel. There's Dior makes the glazed lipsticks, those new ones that I love. But there's a lipstick that I go back to over and over again and always repurchase. And it's interesting because some of it has to do with nostalgia, I'm sure, but it's the MAC lipsticks. And again, I just purchased a couple of different ones. And the reason that I think I keep going back to them is that they're just good. They just work. Their lipsticks are just what they are. They are good, lasting, creamy, shimmery, whatever you pick, frosty lipsticks. They have great payoff. They stay on. You don't have to worry about them going bad very quickly because they don't. You can keep them for a very long time. And they're exactly what they say they are. This one is Cream in Your Coffee, which I picked up during the Nordstrom anniversary sale, part of a set. And it's a great, look at the payoff for that. And it's a fantastic shade. It's just a beautiful rosewood shade that I've become obsessed with. Then we have another shade that I just picked up. It's called Fabby, which I have on today. And Fabby is this pinky, frosty mauve shade that reminds me of the 80s. And for some reason, it reminds me of Christy Brinkley. I think because there was she used to do ads for CoverGirl, and I think there was a shade she wore that was like this kind of shade, frosty shade. And for some reason, it reminds me of that in the 80s. But it looks great with a cool brown liner. And then another shade, which they've actually changed a little bit. It's not exactly the same as it used to be. And this is called O. And I think I have the old O. I'll have to look for it. I think I do have the old O. And O, when it came out, was kind of a unique shade because the old one had like a orangey golden undertone in a purpley pink shade. And this one still has it. It's not as advanced, but you can see when you move, there's like a golden shift. It's really nice on the lips. Definitely cool toned. As you can see, all these shades are cool toned, but it's a unique shade that I fell in love with however long ago that was. And 20 years ago, and still love to this day. I've been purchasing MAC lipsticks since MAC came out, and so I continuously repurchase their makeup and their lipsticks in particular because I really do think they do a good job. I think the lipsticks are reasonably priced for what you get, and I think you get exactly what you ask for. If you're looking for a frost, you get a frost. If you want a cream, you want a cream. That's what you get. And I think there's a wide variety of shades so everybody can find the thing that they're looking for. Rare Beauty blushes. I fell in love with these the minute they came out, and I would say that I would continually repurchase them. But of course, there is no need to repurchase these because they are so pigmented that I'll never go through a full one. However, I have purchased every new shade that's come out, and I have it on today. You can see that little amount. Look at how much blush you get for that. They now have minis, which was a really smart thing to do because, again, who's going to use as much blush? But I will tell you this. I will continue to repurchase those, and if they go bad ever, they haven't yet, I will repurchase all the shades because they are just a phenomenal liquid blush. They go on beautifully. They're incredibly pigmented. Like I said, you get so much bang for your buck because you're never going to use them all up. And they look gorgeous on. Like they just sink in and they work. I think Rare Beauty, this is like the best product from Rare Beauty. Some people dislike this product because of the fact that you'll never use it all up. I love it. I think it looks extremely good on everyone I've ever used it on. I will always purchase new shades of that. And if it ever goes bad, since I'll never use it up, I will repurchase it. Chantecaille powders. Specifically, I like their more glowy powders. And this one in particular, this is the Radiant Glow Blur Powder. which they've put in new packaging. They used to have different packaging for it, but I actually repurchased this because I had it in an old packaging, which I actually had gone through. This powder, their glow powders, for me, are the best powders on the market because I like something that is like a little, you notice I'm not talking about a highlighter today. I don't actually wear highlighters that often. Sometimes I do, but it's rare. What I prefer is a powder that will give me a glow to my face. And I think Chantecaille pressed powders do it better than anyone. I will always purchase Chantecaille powders when they come out. I love Chanel powders. I have many. Guerlain has some beautiful ones. But there's something about the glow powders from Chantecaille that just work for me. They make my skin look like finished and glowy, but perfected and not shiny. They're just perfect. I would also say they last forever. Like I feel like I use this a lot and there's like no dent at all. I went back and forth on this one. This is a gloss. And I was trying to decide like what I would really repurchase because I've never actually made it through an entire gloss in the last 5 or 6 years. Before that, it was the MAC Her gloss. Her specifically. PRRR. I used that gloss all throughout my 40s. Like, basically just that shade. Like, I just use that all the time. And I still love that shade, and I still use it. And it's not exactly the same as it was, but I still absolutely love that. But the product that I think at this point I will continue to repurchase, and I do repurchase just in different shades, is the Dior Lip Maximizer. When these first came out, I was just like, oh, okay, they have a little bit of mint, a little bit of sting to them. They plump the lips, but not too bad. They don't really bother me. And then, of course, since they've come out with I don't know how many shades, and I think I have like 30. Do I need 30 Lip Maximizer shades? No, because they're really not that different from one another. But the formula is so perfect for me. It's glossy, as you can see, I have it on today, but it's not so glossy that it's goopy or sticky. It does have a little bit of that minty plumping, which does work. It does make your lips a little plumper, but it doesn't hurt, doesn't sting. There are multiple shades that anyone will, like. They do have fun shades like this one, which I just love the blue because it's just cool. Does it look blue on the lips? No, not really, but still, it's fun. And they do come out with shades every once in a while, like the new one that came out in the Lucky collection, which I'm still considering buying, and I'll probably consider it right until it sells out. I love the fact that the formula, again, is this great balance. It's glowy and can be shimmery, and it's glossy but not sticky. It's just the perfect combination of all of those things. And I find myself buying more and more of them, even though I have plenty, because I love the formula so much, and I find myself just throwing them in my purse, and I have multiple ones everywhere. So I will continue to repurchase it because I just think it's the perfect gloss for me. So those are the 11 products that I will continually repurchase no matter what. Now, there are more. I mean, there are products that I didn't even get into today, but we don't need to have a 50-minute video. I'll just sprinkle these in. My videos now and then. So I'd love to hear, what are your products that you will always repurchase? I'd love to know what they are. And maybe I'm missing out on them. Maybe I should find out what they are. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.